Esk8 squad, what up? It's your boy Yanzo. And if you want to see one of my friends stack it on his Evolve board, then stay tuned. So a few days ago, we went flying, and while I was up there, I saw this path, this off-road path that I'd never seen before. And we decided, hey, let's take the boards and go through this path. So the next day, we grabbed the boards, we're going through this path, and it starts really nice, man. It's like, it starts off with this wooden path over water. But then once that path ends, it was just really thick dead grass and uneven ground. And we were about 4 kilometers into our ride. And this dried grass was, it was so thick that the battery on my remote was dropping down from in the 80s into the 40s. Every 50 meters or so, you'd get dead grass just caught in between the belt and the drive gear, and you would have to stop and you'd have to take the grass out because that shit was annoying. But luckily, we only had to go through this dead grass, uneven ground for, I don't know, maybe like 300 meters or something. And at the end of this path, right, there was the steepest hill. Well, it looked pretty steep, but when we measured it, it was only about 13 degrees. And you know what I had to do, man? I had to attempt to climb this hill on the GTX. And as I was climbing, I was looking at the remote to see how much the voltage would drop. And as I'm climbing, man, I'm climbing, and it dropped down all the way to 28%. That's probably the most punishment I've ever put my board through. But I made it about 90% of the way up, and then I can't remember if Trent made it. I think he made it like halfway or something. But after that, the battery climbed back up into the 80%, and after this, it was just smooth cruising all the way to Canelands Shopping Centre, which is the name of the shopping centre in our city. And there's a 4-5 story car park there, and we were going to go all the way to the top and use regenerative braking on the way down to get some battery, but there was a bunch of people preparing for a car show there, so we couldn't make it all the way to the top. But down the bottom, we saw 2 bush turkeys, right? 2 bush turkeys. And being the responsible, mature adults that we are, we decided to chase these bush turkeys.
There's 2! Get him! Hey! What happened?
The funny thing is, before this ride I was telling Trent how John stacked it a few times the last time we went riding, and Trent was telling me, yo man, I hope I never stack it, man. And then look what happens. That was his first semi-major stack, and his leg got a bit of a lump in it, but nothing too serious. So on the way back home, we were about 2 kilometers away from home, and Trent's board was in the single digits battery percentage wise. So we swapped boards because I weigh less than he does. And as we're going home, I'm keeping an eye on the battery percentage, and it was dropping, and we were about 800 meters away from home. And I'm looking at the percentage, and I'm like, dude, man, 0%, man. And I was like, you reckon we're gonna get home? So let's find out. Long story short, we made it home with 0% on the battery. 0% on the battery, sorry. But when we got back, we decided, well, actually Trent decided, he's like, hey, let's just keep going, see how far the board wants to go. So that's what we did. We went another 50 meters, the board shut off, and we waited a few seconds. We turned the board back on and made it another 50 meters back home. So yeah. So like, subscribe if you want more Esk8 episodes. Catch us next time.